Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for another Breakfast with Blaha. And today we're having fat-free Greek yogurt, almond butter, frozen cherries. All right, let's talk about testosterone and mainly why you don't need to know about testosterone, why it has no practical application for the majority of you out there, unless, put it this way, unless you plan on taking a syringe and sticking it in your butt full of testosterone, there is no reason at all for you to care about testosterone, or unless you're having to pass a test or something in school, to even know the word. It has no practical benefit. And that'll upset people because there's so much stuff about optimizing testosterone out there. It's a con. Here's why. We'll get to in a minute the lifestyle factors that matter. Because really all you can do to optimize your testosterone is to live a healthy lifestyle. That's it. That's the only thing you can do. Don't be in bad health. That's it. And we'll discuss further into the video as to why that is. So all these guys are like, well, but you know, testosterone matters a lot for muscle growth. While that's a true statement, your personal testosterone not being increased pharmaceutically isn't. It doesn't matter. Not to the degree that you think it does. Not saying it might not equal a couple pounds of muscle over the course of your lifetime, but that's not very significant. It really isn't. And people get the ideas from this because they're like, well, men have more muscle than women, so therefore it must be the testosterone. That must be what's causing it. No, there's other genetic factors. Sorry guys, it's not just hormones. There are structural differences. There are differences in muscle fiber density. There's a lot of stuff going on. There are a lot of other factors than just the testosterone. It is a factor. People say, well, there's a wide variation in men, and different men start at different points for muscle mass. Yeah, but testosterone is only one of those factors. There are guys who are untrained, who are muscular and carry a lot of muscle, who don't have really, really high testosterones. And if they do get muscle from the testosterone, it tends to just be in the shoulders, right? That's usually how you would notice it. If someone has a really high testosterone, naturally they'll probably have bigger shoulders. They're not going to be more jacked overall, just their shoulders probably, because that's where the most androgen receptors are. And there are guys who have really high levels of testosterone, naturally in that 700, 800, 900 nanograms per deciliter range, who still aren't jacked. Okay, it's not a guarantee. It's one factor. Being in that normal range is one factor, and it's a very small variable. Right? Your training is the most important one. That's way bigger. What you do in the gym is 30 times more important than what your testosterone is. Now, the other reason that we get confusion is people are like, yeah, well, all these athletes and bodybuilders use testosterone and they're jacked. Okay, but we're not dealing with ranges that you can reach normally. So what do I mean? People think things like, well, if I just increase my testosterone 20%, I'll gain more muscle. No, you actually won't. All right? The studies we have looking at this show that if your testosterone increased 20% due to lifestyle factors, you're not going to gain muscle from it. It's not enough to matter. 20% is nothing. Think about what an average newbie starting cycle is of anabolics. Okay? What's the most common one you hear? 500 milligrams a test. Well, what's TRT? What's a replacement dose? 100, 125? 500 milligrams will increase testosterone. Are you ready? 300 to 400%. Not 10%, not 20%, not 30%. 300 to 400%. In other words, it's going to be a 4 to 5-fold increase. That's a newbie. This is what's recommended on forums. You go read forums for the past 25 years. That's what they tell people to do as a starting cycle, to get their feet wet. A lot of people stick with that forever, and it still works. You see where we're going with this? We are talking about an increase that is enormous. You can't even get remotely close to that with anything you do with your lifestyle. This is also why I laugh when people make stupid comments like, well, TRT gives us big advantage because you don't have the fluctuations, as if the fluctuations matter. What do we already cover? A 20% change in your testosterone will not cause a measurable change in muscle mass. It won't. So it doesn't matter that someone who's on TRT is staying at a stable place in the middle of the healthy optimal range, right? It doesn't matter. Not saying it doesn't matter for certain health purposes, but for muscle gaining, it doesn't matter. Because those fluctuations aren't big enough to make you gain less or more muscle. They just aren't. You're in the normal range. The only time you're going to see a difference in muscle is when you go to extreme ends of the normal range. And it's not going to be 10 pounds of muscle. It's going to be a pound, 2 pounds. Okay? Having a very high healthy versus low healthy testosterone is only worth a couple pounds of muscle over the course of your lifetime. It's something, but it's not that big of a deal. So people worry about this stuff because they're not grasping the big picture. And they've been told to worry about it. All right, so how can you optimize your testosterone? You don't have to think about testosterone. Worrying about testosterone doesn't help you because none of these things that people say, well, eat this or eat that, this will boost your testosterone. That's bullshit. Eating certain fats. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Here's what lowers testosterone. Getting too lean. Getting too fat. Now, getting too lean is worse than getting too fat for that one. Unless you die from being too fat, in which case your testosterone drops to 0. So, but assuming you are still alive, right? Assuming you're still alive and your health isn't completely deteriorated. Being obese only lowers your testosterone a little bit. We're kind of back to those, 10%, maybe 20% if you get really, really, really fat due to extra aromatization and other things happening, right? Getting too lean can lower it a lot. It's been to where people are clinically low. Like you'll see pre-contest natural bodybuilders, when they're that lean, their blood work's pulled, they have the testosterone of 80-year-old men. Their testosterone, they've lost sometimes 70 or 80% of it. Number one, don't get shredded. There's your first thing. If you're going to get shredded, you're going to need to pen. Deal with it. Get over it. Now, these guys who stay lean year-round are natty. They're not. Doesn't matter how much they claim they are. They're not doing it. They're not. Don't get too lean. Don't become really morbidly obese. All right. Lift weights and exercise. Make you more vigorous, make you healthier. It'll help optimize production, right? So be physically active. Weight training is actually slightly useful for this. So to number 3, get plenty of sleep. Sleep deprivation. Not getting enough sleep will lower testosterone. If you're only sleeping 5 or 6 hours a night, don't complain when your testosterone goes down. But you don't need to know that it's testosterone. It's doing a lot of negative stuff because you're not healthy. You're not recovering. A lot of your hormones go down. Number 4, don't be deficient in anything. That doesn't mean, I read that zinc boosts testosterone, I need to supplement zinc. Really supplementing zinc, if you're on a balanced diet already, will block copper absorption and create a vitamin deficiency. You're creating a deficiency. You don't need to supplement a mineral here. What I'm telling you is eat a balanced diet to where you get all of your vitamins, minerals, essential fatty acids, enough protein. Right? Balanced diet. Make sure that you get optimal intakes of everything. Hit the RDA on every single vitamin and mineral. Hit the RDA on your essential fatty acids. Okay, that'll help out. That will boost your testosterone. You see where we're going with all this, though? Every one of these are things that just make you healthy. Why? Because being healthy and being fit will maximize your hormone production. Not just testosterone. Lastly, alcohol, recreational drugs, smoking. Smoking pot, that's up there too. Don't sit around smoking weed, don't drink a bunch of alcohol. Don't do party drugs. Those things lower testosterone. Okay? And they kill you. You're not healthy. Council Judge said, well, I don't think weed does it. Weed will kill you, dude. You're smoking it. And vaping in some studies has been found to be worse than regular smoke for your lungs. It'll kill you. Okay? If we're trying to be healthy, there's no room in your life for smoking anything. Alcohol needs to be moderated. I don't drink it all. Right? The 5 things I listed are all things that we should be doing for health anyways, without any concern for testosterone. And if you do all 5 of those things that I listed, your testosterone production is going to be about as optimal as you can get it, other than going to pharmacology. All right, guys, well, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.